Welcome to the Walk in Power podcast, where I believe that confidence is your superpower. I am your host, Carmen Blyden, founder of Healthy Energy Actively Living, also known as HEAL, and creator of the Manifesting Love Journey, a transformational course designed to guide you in crushing self-doubt and building unstoppable confidence to rise and shine in the power of your most authentic self. My mission here is to inspire you to own your power to create the life you desire and deserve through wellness. I'll be inviting some amazing guests who will share their stories of transformation and offer gems for your toolbox. My hope is that every episode leaves you better than you came, and you will gracefully share your experience with someone else. If you're ready to prioritize your wellness, build unstoppable confidence, and evolve into the best version of you, then you're in the right place. And I'm so happy you decided to join me here today. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, my Walk in Power family. How you doing? How are you doing? I want to hear from you. Send me some, message me, DM me on Instagram, Facebook. I want to know how you're doing. And I want to know how this podcast is touching you and if it's speaking to you and what else you would like to hear from me, right? But I love hearing from you all. So one, thank you everyone who has been messaging, but also has been sharing with friends and family. I appreciate you. You don't even know how much. So let's dive into this topic today because this right here is the last part of a 4-part series. So the last 3 episodes were all focused on discipline over motivation. So we did the first episode called Discipline Over Motivation, where we talked about how much more important discipline is than motivation. Then we did the big why, right? Identifying your big why, and I also offered questions for developing your big why. Then the last episode we did was release your excuses, right? And today we are doing the number 1 tip for developing discipline, which is show up. Show up. You have to show up for the life that you're saying you want. Now, there is this incredible quote by Woody Allen that is famous, and it says 80% of success is showing up. Now, when you think about it, what does showing up mean? Showing up just means getting started, right? Showing up means doing something, taking some type of action. It means doing exactly what you said you would do. That's what it means to show up. Now, showing up is not always going to be easy, but I know this for a fact, that anything worth having is worth fighting for. You are worth fighting for, right? This isn't just about achieving some huge goal or, feeling some great deal of accomplishment. This is about knowing that I did this for me. I am worth me showing up. I am worth me showing up for the person I desire to be, right? And here on this podcast, we really try to focus on wellness as the first means of showing up, taking care of yourself, right? Building those wellness habits. So what are those wellness habits that you need to show up for? And once you begin with your wellness, mind, body, soul, and spirit, once you start taking care of every dimension of you, there's no doubt that everything else will begin to roll in. Because once you start feeling really good about yourself, how you're loving on yourself, how you're showing up for yourself, you can begin applying all those habits that you developed for practicing wellness to every other area of your life. But it starts with self. It starts with you. There's no point in trying to achieve goals outside of you, whether it's to make more money, to have greater relationships, to build a business, to get a new job and start a new career. There's no point in going after those wonderful goals. They're all great goals, but what is the purpose of going after those goals if you're not well? If you haven't even showed up for nurturing your mind, body, soul, and spirit, so that when you do go after those things, you feel good and you can enjoy them with a peace of mind. But you're never going to find that joy or that peace outside of you. It starts within. So how do you show up for you first? Before showing up for others, before showing up for all of the other goals that are worldly, how do you show up for you first? And now here's the thing, right? Showing up, now just showing up, just saying here, yes, I'm going to do it, that's not enough, right? Yeah, we're telling you got to show up. But you got to show up over and over and over and over again. No matter how you feel, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you may have experienced, maybe you had an argument, maybe you had a bad day at work, none of that matters when it comes to showing up for you, right? You got to get up every day. You got to set your intentions for the day. Then take actions based on those intentions and never give up. That is the key. Because sometimes when it gets hard, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I give up. I don't want to work this hard. I don't want to show up this way. I don't want to do this every day. But what you're saying is, I'm not willing to work that hard for me. I'm not willing to do something every day that's just for me. Right? So showing up, again, is just not simply enough. You have to develop a show up mindset. That show up mindset says, no matter what is happening, I'm here. And guess what? Let me tell you where your confidence really begins to pile on, where your confidence really begins to strengthen. It's when you show up on those days that it is hardest. It's when you show up on those days that you just really don't feel like it, but you push through anyway. Listen, it's easy to show up when you're motivated, when you're in a good mood, when you like, oh, things are great, you're feeling peachy. It's so easy to show up then. Oh, I got this. But what about those days where you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to. I'm not in the mood. Let me tell you something. I know how it feels. I find different ways to move my body every single day. But there are some mornings I wake up and I really don't want to. But then I have to have a conversation with myself. Well, why don't you want to? Are you incapable? Is something wrong? There's nothing wrong. I just don't want to. And then I say, well, that's not good enough, honey. So let's go. And I get up. I get up and I get going. But I tell you what, when I get up and get going, even if I start off dragging, once I get started and I'm in there, I'm like, I'm doing it. Oh, I feel so good. I start to feel proud of myself. Like I almost turned myself down this morning. I almost neglected me today. Whatever that looks like for you, even if it's not body movement, whether it could be prayer, it could be writing in your journal, it could be making yourself a really healthy meal. It could be that thing that you said, this right here contributes to my wellness, contributes to my peace of mind, contributes to me feeling real good throughout the day, whatever that is. We have to find ways every single day to show up. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you, I'm not team no days off. I'm not that. Right? There are going to be days that you might need a mental break. There are going to be days that you're like, you know what? No, seriously. Today is not it. There might be those days. And that's okay. That's okay. But here's what's important. What's important is that you show up more often than you don't. Because then on those days that you say, you know what? Today, I'm chilling. I'm not doing any of that. It really depends on how you view it. You can say, hey, today I'm taking a full mind, body, soul, and spirit rest today. But you also say, you know what? I've done really well for the past few weeks. I deserve a day off. You earned it. And that's when you start singing to yourself, sis, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Sis, you're doing a good job. Oh, you're doing a good job. You won't feel guilty. You won't feel as if you've betrayed yourself or you've given up on yourself because you have been in the ring consistently. You developed a show up mindset so that one day that you decide, I'm going to chill today. Today I'm just going to go somewhere and kick my feet up and watch TV. You don't feel horrible about that decision. When you feel horrible, but when you do, is what I meant to say, but when you do feel horrible about that decision is when you haven't been showing up. You haven't been showing up. It's been 3, 4, 5 days that you haven't done anything you said you were going to do for yourself. And now on this day, you said you're going to do it and you're deciding, again, I'm not going to. That's when that self-doubt starts to kick in. That's when your self-esteem begins to plummet. That's when your motivation really dips. Right? And so, again, you have to show up more often than you don't. My thing is, how are you going to create the life you desire, experience the level of wellness you want for yourself? Mind, body, soul, and spirit, I always have to remind you, right? Because wellness is holistic, whole body health, right? How are you going to achieve that if you don't do anything? If you don't show up at all? How? You think it's going to just happen for you? No, it's not. It's not going to happen from your head or your bed. Right? I love to say that. It's not going to happen from your head or your bed. You may be thinking about it. You may have said to yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But I'm tired. I'm going to lay down. And then you get frustrated because things are not changing for you. Things are not shifting for you. But it's up to you to understand that you have the power. You have the power to create the life that you want, to create the life you desire. And when you get a moment and you go back to the last podcast, then you'll learn how to check in and how often you should be checking in with that agreement to see where you are, to see what your progress has been, to see what habits you have developed, what strengths you have discovered about yourself that brought you this far. And then celebrate. Let's never forget to celebrate our wins. Big, small, medium, it does not matter. You celebrate every step of the way because it's your actions that's pushing you forward. So celebrate yourself. You don't have to wait until you have this huge accomplishment for a celebration, because basically what you're saying is the work that you're doing right now is not good enough. Everything you do, every step you take gets you closer to your goal. Celebrate every step of the way. So again, once you get in agreement with that person and you go down that list of, why you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, how often you're going to do it, and you do that reflection at the end of every quarter or the end of every month, and you celebrate, you also begin to build your confidence, your self-esteem, and so many other things start happening for you. But things can't happen for you. Blessings can't happen for you until you decide to show up. And not to say that blessings don't happen when you don't show up, but you can really recognize them or feel them as blessings because you're still kind of stuck and kind of have cloud around you because you know that there's something you're supposed to be doing. And because you feel so complacent, you can't even recognize all the blessings and beauty around you. But the moment you get up, remember, the moment you get up, no matter what, you get up, no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter where you are, no matter what you're experiencing, you get up. And you set your intentions for the day, and you take actions, and you never give up. Oh my God, then you'll begin to see the beauty within you, the beauty in the world. You'll begin to see these blessings pouring into your life, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, all I had to do was show up. This is all I had to do in order to receive this? Wow. Now, I know it sounds like, Carmen, that can't be all. I promise you it is. Let me tell you, when I started really showing up for myself, really shifting my focus to becoming better for me, as opposed to trying to be better for everyone else, trying to be great for everyone else, trying to be great for my boyfriend at the time, great for my kids, great for my mom, great to my siblings, great to my friends, great to my employer. When I stopped trying to be everything for everyone else and became everything I needed for myself, that's when my light began to shine. That's when I began to see what I was truly made of. I started prioritizing my needs, my wellness. And what did that do for me? I had way more energy. I had more mental clarity. I wasn't struggling with skin problems like I was at one time, always having rashes because I was so stressed out. Right? I began sleeping better, feeling better every day. And even though stressors were still coming into my life, because my wellness was tip top, my wellness was like at a great level, those things didn't knock me down. I felt well enough to handle them as they came. But everything that I applied for my wellness, I began to apply in my business. I began to build habits for my business the same way I built habits for my wellness. Even doing this podcast, trust me, sometimes I'm like, oh man, I gotta sit down and do this. Okay, then I start procrastinating, then I start washing dishes, then I start cleaning some chicken to cook. Like, you're doing everything except for what you said what you was gonna do. Then I said, go do it right now. And then I sit down and look at me, I'm just sitting here. I don't even want to stop talking to y'all, but I know I need to. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap up. But once I make that decision to show up, everything else just flows. This is exactly what me and my clients work on in manifesting love. And if you could hear some of their incredible testimonies of what happened for them when they began to shift their focus inward and make their wellness a priority, they began to see themselves as a whole new person. You can too. Remember that you have the power to create the life that you desire and deserve. But you have to decide that you're worth it. I know you are. Do you? Thank you for being here with me today. And I look forward to our next discussion. Until next time, family, walk in power. Thank you for tuning in on this episode on the Walk in Power podcast. I hope you feel enlightened, ready to make your wellness a priority, got tools for your toolbox, and are feeling encouraged to walk in power. Don't forget to subscribe to catch every new episode, and please leave a review along with any topics you would like to hear me speak on. If you haven't done so already, please head over to my website at www.healwithcarmenb.com to check out the services I have to offer. And while you're visiting, be sure to subscribe to my mailing list to receive updates on new episodes and upcoming events, because I don't want you to miss those. I've also created a Walk in Power Facebook community, and you're invited to join so we can continue these discussions. You can stay connected through Instagram at Heal with Carmen B and on Facebook at Healthy Energy Actively Living. Until next time, walk in power with love and gratitude. Carmen B.